more extreme immigration policies.
The mob tore down scaffolding and broke into the Capitol building itself.
Crackdown on voting rights.
Leaked legal draft to reverse the historic Roe versus Wade ruling.
Abortion is a right.
Would usher in the most conservative executive branch in modern American history. It's called Project 2025.
Groundbreaking decision from our nation's highest court. Presidents have absolute immunity for official acts while in office.
I think after the 2016 election, we saw a lot of changes. We had a number of cases that came to us where there were emergencies, and specifically in the deportation realm.
The Muslim ban shocked me, that one person's statement became a law that violated every principle that this country is built on.
I am mostly frightened by the attack on our ability to vote and on our election systems.
Our democratic system isn't self-perpetuating, and if anything, the Trump years really exposed that in ways to people.
Now the threats are even more severe, and that's part of the urgency of participating now, because the challenges are going to become even more complicated.
When I was in high school, a good friend of mine, when we were under the age of 18, became pregnant. And we had to go before a judge so that she could be granted permission to seek an abortion, which she was granted. And that was a profound experience for me as a young person.
I'm 58, I have two daughters. One's 25, Kayla, and her sister is 22. And I kind of can't believe that I had at their age, more reproductive rights throughout the country than they have now.
The overturning of Roe really lit this fire in me, and I think through that, my connection with the ACLU really grew and deepened, and it really put at the forefront about how important the ACLU is.
I have been involved emotionally with the ACLU since I was a teenager. I was a part of the civil rights movement in high school, and the very first donation I ever made was to the ACLU.
I work on abortion access and reproductive justice, but those issues are critically linked to immigrant rights, voting rights, the right to not be discriminated against based on gender, based on sexual identity, based on race, based on religion, the right to have a safe community where there's not over-policing or surveillance. All of those rights are connected.
I came to the United States from Colombia in 1984, and knowing that the ACLU is a place where the advocacy and commitment to all those in the United States for the civil rights and civil liberties of everyone is deeply important to me.
When Trump passed the Muslim ban,
Yes.
within hours, I went out to the airport, but hundreds of people, including incredibly skilled immigration lawyers, were at Logan Airport on the ground helping people who were trying to get into the country.
It can be a force multiplier. The work of the ACLU in bringing both the legal, technical expertise, as well as the advocacy piece and communication piece can benefit everyone.
Understanding the larger impacts even of one particular issue that I find so powerful.
What I really saw was the ACLU, particularly the ACLU of Massachusetts, doing really integrated work to keep democracy functional.
One thing that comes to mind is the book banning. I think in the last year across the country, we've really seen conservative states enact laws to prohibit people reading and really reading important pieces of literature. And I think the ACLU has really made a commitment to giving people access to those books back.
We have momentum. I look at the driver's license bill, something that is so important to a community where each interaction with the law can be fraught.
I think about issues such as technology and surveillance. Without the ACLU's education on an issue like that, I don't think a lot of us would understand the threats that technology provides.
What gives me hope is that the ACLU has a structure that understands that the entire country needs to be together and to have rights, whether people live in Massachusetts or Mississippi.
And then you need to do it both through legislation, through litigation, and then through partnering. I think the thing that makes this ACLU Massachusetts so effective is it recognizes this is a multifaceted strategies that we have to employ.
We recognize that none of these issues stay permanently one. It's important to contribute so that we can be strong now and so that we can be strong in the future.
Freedom doesn't defend itself. We all need to do our part to make sure that the rights that we enjoy are there for our children.
I know there's a tremendous amount of anxiety right now, but one of the things that makes me feel better is knowing that the ACLU is poised to take on those challenges. But we can't do it without continued support.
There's so much work that needs to get done and to really ensure that we have a democracy.
I think organizations like the ACLU are what's going to sustain our democratic system beyond November.
When I finish telling you all of the important things that the ACLU does, standing up for our fundamental rights, I think you'll want to join me in supporting this organization.
In many situations, there are many different groups that are reactive, that are waiting. The ACLU is not waiting.